Hello, everybody. And as they say here, how's it? We are glad to have you guys join us today for the green room. And we've got a brand new topic for you guys. I know the last two or three were sort of the same. This one is going to be totally different. And I don't know actually why we haven't had this topic before, but we are looking forward to this topic because this is what everybody will need to know when they move to the States is about homes. You know, where do I rent? Where do I buy? And how does this thing work as well? But as always, we are quickly going to run through an intro, give you guys an idea of who we are, what we do, and then we will start with the panelist. Trevor, do us an intro.
Yes, absolutely, guys. Welcome with us. This is the first Thursday of August. And wow, I can't believe that we are suddenly in August and this year is going very, very fast. So guys, obviously myself, Trevor Thomas, and my business partner, Lenny de Villiers, we are the founders of Induku Group, and we are super excited to be with you in this space. Lenny will talk to you about what the green room is shortly, but what we do is we are a company that is there to help people if they have decided in their lives that they would like to go to America. So if you are out there and you are seriously considering getting to America and you'd like to make this your permanent residence place going forward, then you need to get hold of someone in the Induku Group. Our team is expanding literally by the month at the moment, which we're super excited about, but we can help you on a number of channels. We have got the Live Your Dream program, we have got Drive Your Dream, we have got Care for Your Dream, and all of these programs, the E2 investment visa as well, not really for South Africans, but for if you have got a European passport and you've got one of those passports that welcome you to the treaty of commerce with regards to Europe and America, then you can obviously use the E2 as well. But what we do is we obviously help people get to America and do that they can be there on a permanent basis. So if you'd like to find out more, please get hold of anyone in the Induku team, anyone in the Induku Group. We'd love to meet with you, chat you through that, which we do, and how we can get you there and do that successfully. And that's part of why we have the green room, is to help people immigrate successfully. Lenny, you want to chat a little bit about the green room?
Yeah, guys, green room is this exciting space that not a lot of people offer you. Is the information that you require to immigrate successfully. So this is the information that you wish you knew when you're sitting in that home in Houston and you go, wow, I should have done this differently. I would have done this and I would have done this. So we actually rewind your whole immigration journey for you. And then we give you the information that you wish you knew. And that's in a nutshell what the green room is. So this is a very, very cool space where it's a lighthearted space where we interview panelists that are experts in their fields. Like today, once again, we've got a great panelist talking about homes and stuff like that. But, you know, stuff that you wish you knew. So the other addition that we started in the beginning of the year was the fun facts about various things. So talking about real estate today, we thought it would be relevant to talk about some 23 ridiculous real estate facts. I'm not going to go through all 23, but these ridiculous real estate facts are actually true. All right. So number one, so not all of them have to do with the United States, because not everything is about the United States, right? So number one, there's a secret apartment at the top of the Eiffel Tower. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. There are secret oil rigs hidden in high-rise buildings in Los Angeles. That sounds ridiculous. Yeah, maybe another one. So I don't know how true this is, but Hitler owned a house in the Pacific Palisades near Malibu. I mean, this picture of this house is ridiculous. It's got graffiti all over. It doesn't look like Hitler's house at all. Anyway, that's maybe why it's got graffiti on it, but it's probably got some swear words on the walls and stuff like that. But who knows? So this is a pretty cool one. So Mark Zuckerberg, so he's the founder of Facebook, bought the 4 houses directly next to his for a specific reason. So what he did, so one of the guys that owned the house next to him thought it was going to be a cool thing. So he started renovating the house, but he was going to market the house as who wants to live next to Mark Zuckerberg. And obviously Mark didn't like that. So he bought that house and he thought, listen, to stop the other guys from doing the same thing, he just bought all the homes around him. So if you've got a lot of money, that's what you do. So he spent in collective about $30 million for these couple of homes. But the guy says, don't worry about it, because he makes about $1.7 million an hour. It only took him about 2 days to recoup that money. All right. So this is pretty cool. I would love to do this. So did you know you can book a stay in Luke Skywalker's boyhood home for about $10 a night? And I wish you could see this picture. It looks so cool. I would spend $10 to go and stay in Luke Skywalker's boyhood home. So go check that one out if you want to. What else can I see? The Empire State Building was once known as the Empty Space Building. I don't know, that's a useless fact if you've ever seen one. All right, so guys, I'm going to leave it there before it gets ridiculous even more. But check us out. We've done, this is probably webinar number 57, and but who's counting? And then you can go into our YouTube channel and you can go see the previous ones that we have done, that can give you more information on your immigration journey. So thank you, guys. Thanks for being with us. So we have got a lady called Carla van der Merwe, and you wouldn't believe it, she is in Houston, Texas at the moment. So she's given us some great information. So I just want to read this thing about it. She's got a brochure that obviously she gives to people, a bit of background. It's a really, it's a mixture of a great American type of brochure with her details in it. And she's obviously from South Africa. All right. So it says, we are all on our own journey, and mine started in a country far away. I'm Carla van der Merwe, South African by birth, American by choice. We moved to America in 2001 with a 4-month-old baby, 4 suitcases, and 2 law degrees that I couldn't use. We settled in Colorado, where at first I was satisfied raising my baby, learning about snow and high altitude, new spices, traffic, rules, driving on the wrong side of the road, making new friends. As time passed, I started to volunteer at our church and outreach organizations. I became a substitute teacher focusing on special needs classes. 1 year after we became US citizens, we adopted a little girl from South Africa, helping her to adapt to a new life, new family, and a new language was and still is a journey. I decided to cut back on work hours in the school system, and in my free time, I started working with the elderly, caring for them in their homes while still subbing part-time. All right, cool. Carla, welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome to have you. I mean, as I said to you, could you, after giving all that information, do you want to give us a bit of a background of you and fill in maybe the gaps?
Well, yes. I don't think there are any gaps, except that we're still learning. I moved here. I'm from the Bushmanland, and I grew up there. I went to high school in this Western province, and then university, Koffsies, and from there on, my husband always had this dream that he wanted to get out of South Africa. I thought that once we have kids, that he would, stop trying for this. And it didn't work that way. In fact, it just got worse, because now you're living for your children. So my baby, she was about 4 months old, and the one evening he had 4 interviews, and he says, whoever comes through first, that's where we're going to go: Australia, England, New Zealand, or America. And we are on this journey. So we ended up here. I've built a network of friends. When you're far from home, there is no grandma to come when the next baby is born, like we're used to. And so for us, it was very important to have a network of friends around us. And I don't think anybody can do it without friends, or thank goodness there's Facebook now. We can go on Facebook, we can go, reach out, and we can join certain groups. So that makes a big difference. So when we moved here, my kids are older now. So the adopted one, she's 12. Going on 17. So I had more time on my hands, and I started, to do my real estate classes, and that's where I'm now. So the gaps are, we've been here 3 years in Texas. Everything is bigger here. I'm still learning a lot. Not looking back at all, you know, I'm glad I did this when I was younger. I think it's extremely hard. I work with a lot of South Africans here. I think it's extremely hard to keep focus and doing it as your kids are older. But I do think that we are doing it, you know, for ourselves, but also for our children, and not to lose focus. If I can give anybody that advice, you're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to cry. You're going to miss your people at home, your friends, your family, but not to lose focus. It does get better. And this is really the land of the free and the brave. I mean, I think our South Africans are extremely resilient. And I think that you can throw us in any hole and we'll climb out of it. I honestly do. I've been fortunate enough that my husband has a good job, so he's extremely supportive. Kind of give me free reins, whatever I, you know, want to do. But I do think that as being South African, I have a lot of American friends, and they are absolutely astounded by, you know, us, you know, the drive that we have. And I think that's good for everybody back in South Africa that still want to do this, to remember there will be ups and downs, but it does get easier, it does get better. And yeah, one day you'll be sitting here looking back at, you know, 20 years ago.
That's fantastic, Carla. Such a nice story. Quick question: when did you guys move to America? Did you say? And then when did you become citizens?
We moved in 2001, and it was just
Right.
before 9/11 happened. So,
Okay.
and we were in Texas the first 6 months, and
Right.
the day that 9/11 happened, everything was put on hold. So we waited 7 years for our green cards. I was not allowed to work. The Dirk came through on the H-1B visa, so only he was allowed to work. So it took us 7 years to get here, and or to get to a green card, and we only got our citizenship in 2013. So
Wow.
it took us quite a while. Yeah, quite a while.
What a journey.
I think we had to renew our visas twice. You know, that's a big blur. I tried to, I don't remember the detail. You know, my husband was all, you know, in charge of that. But yeah, it was quite a big thing at the time.
Absolutely, and I think that you know, now where you're sitting, you can really talk to the value and what the green card represents, right?
Oh yes, you know, that is. And it's funny when you're in this position, even Americans, they don't understand. They're like, you know, just bring your family over, you know, just let them come. No, it doesn't work like that. You know, this is a process. And no, if without a green card, I mean, that's where everything starts. So yeah, I have to have that.
Yeah. That's fantastic, Carla. Thank you for sharing that with us. Carla, diving sort of deep into this whole thing around realty and housing, and obviously you also do a couple of other things around housing, so like leasing, etc., etc. Let's start firstly with you know, in South Africa, obviously you sell your house and then there's a commission that goes to the agent. Is that exactly the same way that it works in America, or how does the realtor service work in America?
It's basically the same. So, you know, we represent our broker, and if you are the buyer's agent, I represent the buyer, trying to find them the house or the house to lease, then we get paid by the sellers. So the buyer and the client doesn't pay me when I represent them. The money goes to the broker. I get my split. The broker gets his split, and you know, that's just to cover us, you know, for lawsuits and things like that. So yes, we here typically, I think it's different than in South Africa. We get normally 3%, the buyer side and the seller side. Now the people, you know, negotiate a lot when they represent the seller. But if you're mostly representing the buyer, my clients don't pay for me. The broker gets the money, and it's paid by the seller. So when everybody is happy, then I get my money in the end. You know, for that, I will, you know, show them houses, and I will work out what is a comparable price for the house, what is maybe too much, you know, things, and I obviously help show them houses. Right now, everything's a little different, but, you know, that's basically how it works. So that is how, I think it's kind of the same as in South Africa, just the percentages are different.
Carla, so in South Africa, we're very familiar with a sales agent, for example? You mentioned the word now, broker. Help me understand that. You're a realtor and then you have a broker. Just piece that puzzle for us quickly.
So I'm part of a brokerage. So in South Africa, like Remax, you're one of the agents that's working for Remax. So that's the same here. I am an agent working for a brokerage. I function totally independently, but they are overseeing our errors and omissions, payments every month, so that if we do get in trouble, there is insurance covering us. And so we're part of the brokerage, and it's a big group. Mine is called Abbey Realty. We're about 450 people now, and so all over Texas we can work. But that's what the brokerage is. It's just the main house.
Perfect. Yes, like the agency in South Africa. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
So Carla, if you had to talk us through maybe a process when, say for instance, Trevor and myself get to Houston and we decide that we want to actually buy a house now, and we want to get pre-qualified or pre-approved for a loan and stuff. What will they look at, and what is the process for this?
Okay. So the biggest concern is that people want to buy a house, but they are not approved. So for us, the starting process, when I speak to people on, the first time, I can only really start showing you that house when you are approved. So what that means, I recommend them to talk to a lender, the mortgage company, the banks, whoever they want to, somebody that can tell them, what they need to, in the end, to be able to buy that house. So we have quite a few lenders that we recommend, but whoever somebody is, fine with. The very first thing is when you put in an offer on a house, you have to make sure that you send that in with a pre-approval letter. Sometimes it's a qualification. The pre-qualification is not as strong. It doesn't help your offer as much because things can still go wrong, but things can always go wrong anyway. So that is why the minute that we put in an offer, I have a letter from a lender saying that Trevor is good to buy a house of $250,000. And that makes your offer stronger. But then the process in the background still continue. You can still, change lenders if you wanted to, but then they really start the underwriting process, and they look at your credit scores and they look at your whole journey, and then they decide, okay, this person may not be ready for 250,000, but probably for 230 or for more. And then they also help you and say, okay, if you buy a house of 250, then this will be your closing cost more or less, and this will be your down payment that you have to bring in. And then I start shopping for them because it's easier once I know what they can go for. Otherwise, we set our expectations so high, but then I help them. I start shopping with them. And like right now, at this moment, you basically don't shop. It's like you want this house, you buy it, even if it has 50, things come wrong with it, because there are no houses. So that's a very hard neighborhood, a problem that we have right now. So, but that once we have a contract, once both parties are happy and we have a contract, then the whole underwriting process continues, and it takes about 45 days. It can be faster, give and take, but it takes about 45 days. And then there's a whole procedure, a whole lot of things that has to come into place. The house has to appraise, the house has to be worth the money that you're buying it for. And then also your financials has to add up. And in the end, you have about 21 days since from the start of going under contract until you have to be financially already underwritten, about 21 days for all these things to happen. I don't remember all that much detail, but I feel like here there's a lot of things that can go wrong that you have. So as a realtor, you're always nervous, like, okay, now we have the house, now it has to pass inspections, and it's all these things that fall into place. But that is what we do. So
okay, so just on top of that as well, so Carla, on average, now we just started the process, what is the average time frame to conclude a deal?
It's about, you really can do it in 45 days, so to 60 days.
Registration,
and
everything?
Yes, so what we call it, the registration is the closing. So what happens is It depends on how fast your broker, your lender is, and how how your financials look. And in the end, you are driving it all, because you have to literally send in all the information that you can for them to make the decision. And yes, most of the times. So with us here, you can extend it if there are some problems that come up. So, but 60 days at the most, and then the house is yours. Then you have the keys.
That's amazing.
Carla, I suppose the obvious thing when someone asks you the question around, leasing or buying, the obvious answer is, listen, buy so that you have the asset. But what does that mean in American terms relative to, so for example, in South Africa right now, your interest rate is more favorable. So it is better to sort of be in a space where you've got your house instead of having rentals, which are more expensive. That's the first part of my question to you. The second part is, let's say Lenny and Trevor are coming to America, and we talk to you. Would you suggest that, for the first while, just lease, or would you give a different advice from that perspective?
Okay, so rent versus buy. I definitely feel it's just like you're saying, you're paying somebody else. You're paying somebody else's mortgage, right? If you are renting. We had to rent for 2 years because that's how long it took us. You can only basically start your process once you have your social security number and once you have a credit score. Now, I have spoken to quite a few lenders. There are people that work around what you have accumulated in South Africa that can count towards what you're doing here. So you build up that score faster. So that is definitely an option for you to buy. Everybody wants to do that first, but it is very hard in the sense that you do not have any credit records when you get here, because everything starts in America. So personally, I would say lease it. It gives you a chance. That's just my opinion, but it gives you a chance to figure out, this city is so huge, where you want to live, where you feel comfortable with. Here, if you choose a school first for your kids, I know a lot of my clients want to be in a certain school, and then you can start looking for the house. Now, at that point, there may not be any homes to buy at that place. I just think it's easier. It gives you time to settle. It is, it's the landlord's problem if, somebody drives through your window. It's not your problem. It does give you a little bit of just to settle and relax and figure things out. That's my personal opinion.
So now that makes me worry that the people in Texas can't drive if they drive through your window.
Well, I'm not saying anything.
Because they drive on the wrong side of the road.
So when there's, okay, let's say when the tree fell.
All right, cool. So, on that, Carla, so obviously there's, so you would then suggest when people, I read another stat that, the baby boomers are, they tend to rent more than want to own something. So that's a different scenario. When people are maybe of older, they normally don't want to own something. They want someone else to have the responsibilities on it. So it's pretty much just your view on what you want to see as what is your responsibility and what's your cost and what works out the best for you. And I think it's just on a case-by-case basis. Is that right?
Yes, I do think so, because we don't know what people come, in their pockets from South Africa with. So if you buy a house now, so there's different mortgage programs. The least amount that you can get away with is you have to put down 3.5% of the contracted price of a house. That is almost want to say the cheapest one. There's a lot of other factors that come into play, so that's not the only one. But you are going to be in for a lot of money. You have to pay the closing fees. You have to make a earnest money deposit, and you're looking at about 4% of what the value of the house is, or your offer is, that you have to put down in cash. So it's just easier looking at that to lease first, because that's of course less money that you have to come up with. But yes, it's personal in the sense that you're paying for somebody else's mortgage for him. So it is just, in the end, I think it's better to have your own place. You get equity. Right now the market is very hot. It's very difficult to find a house that we like to buy cheap and sell high, but it doesn't work right now because there are no houses available, so the houses are expensive. People overprice their house. They can, because there are no houses. California is moving here, and I guess South Africa. So it is it is difficult. Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Carla,
Sure.
so let me ask you this question. Already built or newly constructed?
Big difference. It also depends. When already built houses, they have, I want to say, settled, right?
Yeah.
They have worked out the kinks. You know what is wrong. It always, you think that it will be cheaper because it's an older house. It's not necessarily the case. There are a lot of new builds that you go to the model home, you look at the house, you say you want this with these different plans, and the builders have a lot of times they have a lot of incentives that they build in. So they will tell you, if you buy this house from us, we'll pay your closing cost, which is we're talking at least $5,000 to $10,000. Or they will tell you, no, your house has to come with the basics. You have to have an oven and microwave and things like that. But they throw in the laundry equipment, and they sometimes throw in the fridge to have incentives. If you come here and you don't have any of those things, that's a big plus for a lot of people. I have a lot of clients that they're leasing their house with everything in it. Now suddenly they have to go buy. So those are things that it adds up. So I would say it all depends, and also the new construction are in different areas and in different communities. So you first find the area, I guess, and then you see what is in there to kind of compare it.
Yeah. So Carla, I think we can probably double click on any one of these topics and just go on forever and ever. But something that did come up on our side, I know there's a lot of different things that America does differently to the rest of the world, and especially South Africa, is that what is a home warranty service, and how is it different from a home owner's insurance?
Okay. So there's a lot of companies out there right now that offer the home warranty service. If you buy a house, if you buy a new build, first of all, it comes with a lot of warranties. So that new build, the roof will be guaranteed for the next 10 years. Certain equipment in the house will be guaranteed for a year or for 2 years. So you are kind of covered. But if you buy an older house, you know that these things are going to add up and something's going to go wrong. In my case, my husband was always traveling. So when we bought a house, I wanted a home warranty service, because if he's not there, the first thing that breaks in mommy's house is the dishwasher and the tumble dryer. I am shopping. We don't want that to come here because we have to do everything ourselves. So a home warranty service, you pay a monthly fee, and it's about $500 a year that you pay for a company. And if something breaks, they come out and they look at it and they fix it if they can. It's like in South Africa, you have your excess or your co-payment. You have to pay like a call-out fee of between $65 and $85 for them to come out, which is definitely cheaper than just getting a plumber out to come and look at it. And then they will replace it for you, or they repair it up to a certain point. Now, we've been down this road a lot of times. Trust me, there's ups and downs to it, because they will repair that $300 microwave 5 times, and it costs, where I'm like, can we just buy the freaking thing and get it over with? So it has ups and downs, but it's good to know if you're buying an older house, the furnace can go, the air conditioner can go. And I work in insurance in South Africa, so I know, there's always a loophole, or there could be a loophole, but in the end, it helps people. So that's the difference. Your homeowner's insurance has a huge co-payment that covers you, for something different, of course, where, an accident, or when
someone drives through your window.
Yes, or, some break-ins that we've never had, but you have a bigger co-payment to make, and sometimes, you save those for the big things. The home warranty is for the smaller things. Now, if you buy a house here, the seller, the first year will do that for you. A lot of the sellers, it's kind of just a basic thing that we do. If you represent the seller, I'll say, listen, I will pay the first year $600 for you, because, that is my gift to you buying my house. And that's kind of just a guarantee that everything will be okay if something does come up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good.
Very good. So, Carla, this has been really good. I've enjoyed today. So thank you very much for everything that you shared with us. One of the questions that we've come through that we've got a lovely family from Cape Town has just asked us, what is the rental market like at the moment in Houston, Texas?
You know, there are no houses to buy, so more people are renting. The rental market is very good. If you have a house and you're renting it out, it's very good. If you're looking for a house, you kind of take what you can get.
Right.
And the prices are rising, and they say this is a bubble and it's going to burst. But I don't see it bursting that fast because, you know, we've been in this bubble for a while now, and so the houses are expensive. But yes, there are definitely houses. I wish I could buy 5 houses and rent it out for people, because that is definitely a good option. But it's a good market. It's a hard market if you are looking for a house specifically in a certain area. You know, there are not that many options, and you have to take them fast. You cannot look for 3 months and 4 months. You know, it's like we're talking a week or 2, and you have to find it.
Carla, the last question that I've got from my side, obviously people know that Houston, Texas is known for flooding. You know, obviously that is part of I mean, maybe your job, where you have to tell people how many floods this house has had and the history of the thing. But tell us a little bit more about the process of that, and also the insurance that covers, or if you need insurance.
Yes. So yes, the flooding is a huge thing, and I'm honestly still learning, you know, all the ins and outs. It depends on where you're buying. My previous house was in a street where every house flooded except only 3 houses, of which ours was one of them, did not flood. So it is, you know, it can be your house or my house. But we have a website that the government has out there where you can put in your address, and it can tell you if this house is in a flood zone. What that means is not that it necessarily will flood, but that your chances are better that when it floods, that your house will get water in it. So that can be different from neighborhood to neighborhood. Now, your normal insurance does not cover flood damage, but that is why there are different other insurances available where you can get that flood coverage. And also, like in the area that I'm living in now, you don't have to have flood insurance, but it's $400 a year, and it's totally worth it. So for us, it just gives you that peace of mind. So you do get that extra coverage. But then when you buy a house, some lenders will not approve you for that house if you do not have coverage. So the nice thing about it is you will know if you need that insurance. You can, you know, we have a lot of people that we can call, or you can go online and you can see if the house is in a floodplain. Now, there's also different levels of the floodplain. It's different colors. If you go online, there's yellow, purple, red color. If it's red, you know the chances are very well high that your lender will ask you for flood insurance. But we're talking another $500, which is, you know, if you buy $200,000 or a $500,000 house, then it's totally worth it. So that is how it works. You will know ahead of time, and yeah, that's just the easiest way. And talking about the disclosures, yes, if you buy a house, the seller has to fill out a disclosure and tell you what is wrong with the house. And as a realtor, I'm not allowed to help with that process. They have to do it. And that is, you know, we always check up, because they say this house has never had any water in it. The water came up to the tree or whatever. There are ways to check it out and to see if that is the case. Just, you know, things can go wrong, and this house can have a lot of extra damage that you're not aware of. Some people, you know, so what if it had an inch of water? We still want the house. But from our side, we do that due diligence by our clients, and we have to figure that out for them.
No, that's great. Wow, Carla, I've enjoyed this afternoon. Thank you so much for that valuable information. I'm going to close with this last question, right? As a South African, what would be, you know, when your friends phone you from South Africa and they talk to you and all that sort of stuff, what would be that one piece of advice that you would give to us as South Africans coming across to America and wanting to look at buying a house with you? What would that advice be from Carla van der Merwe today?
Oh, wow. I guess it will be relax and breathe. You can do this. There's a lot of steps that we'll have to, go through to get you approved. But that is the part that I love. And, I love the challenge of finding the houses. If you want the house, we can definitely make it happen. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find it out for you. The biggest thing is just first get here and just relax, and then we take it from there. It's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge. As long as the financials play out, then it all works out. So if you want it, I can make it happen. That's it.
It's a journey. No, that's great.
It is
Carla,
a journey.
the last question from my side, maybe it's a bit of a personal question, is that have you taught the guys in Houston about a bry?
Oh my gosh. Once you teach them, you cannot get rid of them. And my American friends hopefully are not listening. There's a few things you do. There's a few things you do differently. You show up for a barbecue and you get ground beef patties that don't have any seasoning on it. I want to cry. So yes, if we don't show up for braais, we invite people for braais, because if we have a braai, we do it our way, and we have to introduce them to lamb. So we buy our lamb, and they're not all used to it, not all like it, but once they try it, most of them want to come back for more. But it's like with your chutney. You show up with your chutney under your arm and you leave with your chutney under your arm. You do not leave it at the house, because once they get to know that, they don't want to go back. Yeah, no, it's a braai. They know. We also teach them a few other words, but we will not discuss that here. But when they come into your house, they know it's braai time.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Oh,
Carla, it's been great having you. I've learned a lot. And like I said, I think there's a lot more that we can talk about when it comes to realty. But what we will do, if some of our applicants or the people listening to the webinar and down the road, we will put your details on our site and stuff as well, on the Facebook stuff. But if you want to give the guys now just some details of how they can get hold of you.
Okay, yeah, I'm on WhatsApp. Definitely on WhatsApp. And my telephone number, I think, is on there. I have a website that they can connect with. It will ask you to register. Nothing happens. You don't have to pay. It's just so I know who I'm talking with. Or through Messenger or email, the information is there. So yeah, I love to help. There's a lot of people here that's willing to help, and it's okay. So there's a lot of groups, and even if the first time I took my husband to the store was to go get bread, and he came back 2 hours later, and I'm like, dude, it's like it's too much. I cannot do it. It's like aisles and aisles of bread. So there's people here that's willing to help. We don't mind. We've been there. We love it. So yes, all the information is out there. Just make contact.
Cool.
Carla, thank you very, very much. We've enjoyed the time with you. Thanks very much. Have a great day. It's early morning for you, so nice day further for you. And that's from me. That's all. Lenny.
Yeah, guys, cheers. It was fun. We might do this again. As you said, we might bring some other topics within the realty section, and then we'll have Carla in again. We enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Carla.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening, guys. Thanks.
Have a great day.
Say,
Bye.
cheers, guys.